Okay, this is 3.5 polynomials of the form x squared plus bx plus c. We also call these simple trinomials because there's no complication that comes along the x squared. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to represent. We have our algetiles, where we multiply by having the factor. So this is c plus 3, and this is c plus 5 in our algetiles. And then this area here is the final answer that we're looking for here. So we can see that there is 1c squared, 8 c's, and then 15 one-tiles. We also have this rectangle, which is kind of like the algetiles, but just more, well, sort of less drawing than the algetiles. Either way is fine. When we do it this way, we just have to add up all the different spots. So it's h squared plus 11, h plus 5h plus 55, and that gives us our final answer here. And lastly, probably the most common method that we're going to use is called the FOIL method. It stands for multiplying the first terms together, the outer terms together, the inner terms together, and the last terms together, and then combining them to find your final answer. The easiest way to deal with this is to get right into practice. So if I'm foiling these, I'm going to write this a little bit bigger for you guys. First, so that would be x squared, and then O is the outer terms, so then plus 2x, inner terms, let me use a different color. So minus 4x, and then our last terms, which would give us negative 8. Please make sure to keep the signs with it. And then we combine this all together. And we can see that these two inner terms create the middle term. Okay? So let's try that again. Let's see how this goes. So first terms is 24. And then outer terms, minus 8b. Inner terms, minus 3b. And then last term gives us b squared. So then b squared minus 11. B plus 24. Always write your trinomials in descending order of powers, okay? Factoring and multiplying are inverse processes. So that's like saying multiplication and division are inverse processes, and addition and subtraction. So when a trinomial contains only positive terms, we can use algebra tiles to factor. We are going to start right away with understanding what the product and sum rule is. So I noted last time when we looked at this that the two inner terms created this when we were doing the FOIL rule. So if we look at x squared minus 2x minus 8, we know that we need to find something that's going to add to negative 2. And we knew that the last term had to multiply to 8. So we know we need something that's going to multiply to negative 8. So we need to think of two numbers that multiply, and this is a nice way of writing it. So our product is equal to, or the product is two terms that multiply to negative 8, and the sum is two terms that add to negative 2. Now, if you're having trouble thinking of the numbers, what you can always do is you can crank out a factor tree for 8. So then we look at this, we have 1 and 8, and we have 2 and 4. So then I need a combination of these two numbers that are going to multiply to negative 8, but add to negative 2. And I can see that it's probably going to happen right here. So if I had negative 4 and positive 2, that works. And then negative 4 and positive 2, that also works. So because this is an easy trinomial, we get to jump right to the step that it is x minus 4 and x plus 2. We can use the FOIL rule to backtrack and show that it works. So if we go first, we get x squared outers plus 2x minus 4x minus 8. And if you do not get back to where you were, you've done something wrong. Sorry, that should be a 2. Perfect. Okay, let's try it over here. Z squared minus 12z plus 35. So the product needs to be two numbers that multiply to 35, and the sum needs to be two numbers that add to negative 12. I look at this and I know that I need 7 and 5 in some capacity because 35 only has so many things that it multiplies to. Like there's 1 and 35, and then the next one I think of is 5 and 7. This needs to be negative, so both of these guys need to be negative, and there we go. So then z minus 7 and z minus 5. Sometimes when we factor, we have a GCF. First thing that you should do is you should get rid of that GCF. Now, I told you earlier that you should always try to factor out the negative so that the inside variable of x squared, or the first leading term of the trinomial, is positive. So we get t squared plus 4t minus 32. So we need a product, two numbers that multiply to negative 32, but also sum to 4. It's going to be 8 and negative 4. So then this breaks down to negative 4, t plus 8, and t minus 4. All right, that's it. You'll get lots of practice with this. It is a key skill that we will carry all the way to calculus. Take your time with it. Practice, practice, practice. Let me know if you have any questions.